Now that you've learned Kwan Bu and its basic design, we will add a few miscellaneous concepts that can enhance your martial arts skills and help you build a better self-defense. Stay tuned, we'll talk about it. Welcome to Shihan's Dojo. I'm Shihan Marty Husband, and I'm here today to help you build your martial arts, or if you want to learn martial arts, how to better understand it. So if you're here to build your martial arts and your skills, this is the place you should be. So jab that subscribe button and punch that bell so we can notify you when we have a new video coming out. Our weekly question this week is simple. What are the techniques you want to improve over the next few months? So let us know what the techniques or routines are that you want to improve so we can have a great discussion on this. Today we're going to cover how to modify your Kwan Bus so that you can increase your kicking skills and abilities. So this will use the exercise of Kwan Bus that we've taught you over the past few videos. So if you haven't seen the videos, click right on up there and watch through the playlist to see how to build your Kwan Bus and watch them before proceeding. That way you're not lost on any terminology we might use or the base principles of what we are trying to accomplish here. The first thing we're going to talk about is what I call a knee drop. Now if anybody out there knows the actual name of these knee drops, I'd appreciate it. For all these years since I can remember, that's all we've ever called them, are knee drops. Now the way to start this off is pretty much staying in a long back stance. Then you drop down on the leg that is supporting you with control. The front leg itself should be pretty much straight and toes in the air if at all possible. There are some people that have a problem with this. So your goal would eventually be to make sure your toes are pointing in the air. Before you really start digging into the Kwan Bu, you should shift back and forth. And this will help you to kind of get your muscles warmed out, to stretch you out, to get you acclimated to basically being able to do this. The flexibility and strength that will be built up over this time period will help you a lot in building that strength and flexibility you have to have for kicking. Make sure when you're doing these that if you have bad knees or your knees hurt, don't do them this way, because sometimes people don't realize the stress it can put on them. Now it really shouldn't hurt your knees, but if you've had them injured or there's some injuries you don't realize, it can hurt the injury that is there. Now as you're shifting back and forth, make sure your glutes stay close to the ground and as parallel as possible. This will help build up the strength and that flexibility we're talking about, because if you come up, your behind will stick out a little bit and it's bad for your balance, and it really doesn't build up the muscles you need to use for that strength. If you do have knee problems out there, after we're done talking about how to use the knee drops in your Kwan Bu, we will show you how to simply practice your kicking for balance in that so you can work with those bad knees without hurting them as much. Once you're acclimated to being able to do the knee drops, you should be able to start incorporating these into your Kwan Bus. For the sake of brevity in this video, we will only show you the 4 wins that we did in the first video in order to give you the basic premise of what you put into your own training. Now for some people it will take a little bit to get used to being able to do these, and if you're older, and you can do it, so be careful that you might not exacerbate any problems with your knees. After you're comfortable with being able to do these, then you can start to modify them in many different ways. One way is to add general kicks by coming up and performing them and then coming back down into the knee drop. You can do all kinds of kicks this way. You can do a roundhouse, a front kick, a side kick, even spinning wheels and hook kicks. Once you have the feel for these kicks down, then again you can add them to your Kwan Bu. And again, as being demonstrated here by the 4 wins drill using a front kick. Now many of you athletes out there are trying to compete, and this is an excellent drill for building up strength and flexibility and coordination. It would be highly recommended that you perform some type of Kwan Bu like this. The conditioning that this will give you will really enhance your own abilities, so push yourself to go as high as you can with your kicks and make sure that the focus is proper with those kicks, your knee positions, your foot positions, whatever's necessary. Make sure they follow the proper criteria of those kicks. You may not want to push yourself to the point where you're going as high as you can. Get used to these drills. Work them into what you're doing, because as you know, your muscles will be sore and you don't want to pull them by taking it to an extreme or very far. Now there are several other modifications you can do for your Kwan Bu training. The next one will show you basically how to put your kicks into an action if you have a knee problem, or especially if you're wanting to practice a balance drill. Now the person you're seeing here does make one error in number 3, I believe, but she keeps going here till the end of the sequence. So if you make a mistake, just keep going. Treat it like self-defense and don't stop. As you can see from her training here, she starts off with the front kick. Then she takes the front kick and transfers it to a back kick behind her. Then right off the bat goes to the side with a roundhouse kick. She steps down and then changes directions in the four-wind direction. Once she has turned in the new direction, she repeats the whole process. Once a person has gone into the four winds drills with these kicks, then they should go ahead and add them into their Kwan Bus. Now, like I said, we're only showing the four winds drills here so that we don't take up a lot of time repeating what we did in our previous videos. But make sure you incorporate these into a full Kwan Bu. This will help that extra training and exercise to help you understand the change of direction you're trying to accomplish and help you, as I always say, in your self-defense. Don't be slacking in not doing them in Kwan Bu, because it's more important that you understand the possible change in actions as compared to the possible change in directions. Once I get everything together, I will show you how to use these Kwan Bus by testing them with groups of people for your self-defense or just partner drills. It's more than just a game of speed, but it's to help build your skill with these movements and actually put them into a practical premise where you can use the proper techniques and make sure everything tests fine. Remember, many of these are just drills we are testing right here, and you can add the kicks that you do not see here from your own style or what you already know, or maybe it's a big difference in style variations. When you've established the operational movements that you are doing for this kicking, then make sure it's added to your own personal Kwan Bu. Make sure the techniques are done with power, force, and intensity, just like you would in real life, and make sure of all things that it's realistic. Kwan Bu can be a great exercise for all martial artists, or I wouldn't be sharing it with you. Now, don't forget to comment about the question we had up there today. What are the techniques you are looking for to improve over the next few months? Let's get a conversation started here so we can find better ways of training. Also, don't hesitate to tell us what you think about the videos here, or things we might be able to improve, or any questions you might have. We will see you here again next time on Shihan's Dojo.